Hey, it's State of State. We got your Nittany Lion update. It's a football discussion with Tom and Justin, so kick back and press play.
With former Penn State and NFL defensive back Justin King, I'm Tom Hannafin. This is State of State. Please like, comment, subscribe, rate us, and turn on notifications. Follow us on social media at State of State Pod. Comment on our YouTube channel. And if you haven't done so already, you can become a member of our YouTube channel. For just 99 cents a month, you can get all upcoming episodes of State of State, plus our entire members-only playlist, ad-free, commercial-free. Hit the join button on our homepage or follow the link in the description of this podcast. This podcast is presented by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to Major League Baseball, the NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. Penn State fans, are you feeling confident that the Nittany Lions can win college football's national championship next season? Or that Abdul Carter will go number one overall in the upcoming NFL draft? Lock in your futures bet at betonline.ag today. State of State is presented by BetOnline. The game starts here. State of State is a proud supporter of Blue White Outfitters. Blue White Outfitters was created as a retail shop meant to highlight the confidence, competitiveness, and fearlessness of the elite athletes found throughout the history of Penn State University. Check out their Lockdown U and Lawn Boys merchandise today. All sales from Blue White Outfitters directly benefit Penn State student athletes. Also, official State of State merchandise is available now. Support the show and grab State of State t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Visit www.bluewhiteoutfitters.com today. Hi, everyone. Welcome to State of State. I'm Tom Hannafin. Justin King is back and fresh off a visit to Happy Valley to take a peek at what's going on at Penn State football spring practices, be around the building, talk to players, coaches, staff, families, all that sort of stuff. A lot of business you were attending to with LIG Sports Group, of course, getting back to your old stomping grounds there. So first off, how did it feel to be back? What was the vibe like?
I mean, it's always great to be back in Happy Valley. Staff, always, there's great familiarity there. And it's cool having, whether it's clients on the team or dealing with recruits and being just honestly looking forward to seeing the guys that as they develop in spring ball. So it was cool getting up there and seeing former, work colleagues and friends and things of that nature and family mixed in with business. So it's a great alignment, but it seemed like a good vibe. Team looks deep. Guys look good. I mean, talk about an all-star coaching staff across the board. You go to different places. I travel to a lot of schools and, like just the ilk of coaches that they have is just very high level, just across the board, right? When you get all the way down to the analyst, it's like Trace McSorley, right?
Yeah.
Like all the way down to the person that's helping that has that type of credibility, 100%. You got Dan Carter, former this, you got Poindexter, former that, and you got, so it's just all over the place, a running back coach. And so from that standpoint, I just like, every time I get there, I marvel at just how the team looks. Like I'm a big stickler on like positional standards and like how a team looks like in pregame. I'm huge on that because I think that shows the level like where your program is, right? And sometimes you'll go to a place and there's guys that fit the size standard, but no one can move. And so seeing where Penn State's at versus when I got there in 2017, when we had like, okay, you see Saquon, you'd see this Mike Gesicki, and you see this guy, and everybody else was kind of, meager average, not really at that par. Right. And now it's just like depth, everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Like to the bottom of the roster where you got like somebody, a freshman stepping in that looks like, LaVar Arrington II or the junior, you know what I mean? Like all the way down, you got these different defensive linemen, the offensive linemen. What's the offensive lineman name? Corner. What's his last name?
Are you Cooper Cousins?
Cooper Cousins? Yeah. My bad. Yeah. So like, you see those type of guys, and it's just like, man, this is what it's supposed to look like.
and young, to your point.
Young to my point, right? And then it's like even Drew Allar, like you see him tossing the ball around, and I'm like, it's good to get up close and personal because like sometimes when you're far away, you don't recognize what it is. Like he's an NFL quarterback. Like that's what it's supposed to look like. You know what I mean? So like that's what I get a joy seeing what they've been able to build from a personnel standpoint. That's my passion or the player development aspect. And yeah, they got things rolling up there, man.
Beautiful. I want to get to more on Drew Allar, the wide receivers, the defensive backs. It's been a busy week for Penn State football today. The NFL Pro Day is happening for Penn State and the Lions that are off to the NFL draft, the Tyler Warrens of the world, the KJ Winstons of the world, all that sort of stuff. So extremely busy week. James Franklin spoke earlier this week. Spring practices got underway. The picture of LaVar Arrington II went absolutely viral because everybody's like, oh my God, he looks exactly like freshman year Abdul Carter in terms of build. So a lot of excitement. I know a lot of people were bagging on him getting the sticks, the number 11, having just came to the university, but he is LaVar's son. So there is this that made sense. And even Abdul Carter has spoken about it. But LaVar Arrington II is certainly going to get a lot of attention as this training camp goes on, or not this training camp, spring practices into training camp. Whether he's a contributor in 2025 remains to be seen. But it's like, gosh, it's nice to have those guys that like at least getting off the bus. It's like that doesn't hurt. And it sounds like what you were seeing was just overall positive body language from this team. And it really does speak volumes when you see that and you're like, yeah, like they got some dudes here. My first question to you, because one of the significant changes, you have a new defensive coordinator and you have an existing offensive coordinator in Andy Kotelnicki. So to your eyes, how did things look for Kotelnicki in spring practice round number 2 and for Jim Knowles spring practice round number 1 at Penn State?
I will say, I mean, I think Coach Knowles is like more laid back than typical coaches that I've seen. So it's like cool just seeing him take it in. I think that's like just that wisdom that comes from being around where it's like, hey, I'm not going to come in here and try to prove myself. Like I know exactly who I am. Let me see where I can insert. They've had success. And so it was interesting seeing from that standpoint. Even Kotelnicki looked, you know, I'm going to say more comfortable. I haven't been out of practice that much, but it seemed like the players respond to him. I mean, I love that Penn State. I mean, like there's competitive areas in practice where you can really see like the personalities of the position groups, the coaches, and really start to really clash in a very healthy, valuable way for a team. And I just like seeing all the confident personalities with the requisite talent to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think this year, and again, the incoming freshman, Taki Hayes, like different ways of how he's been approaching it coming here from Malacopa, and the Whippeal has been, you know, above the line. So something to look forward to. I mean, it was good, man. I mean, for especially at the beginning, like that's like, I don't know if it was practice 2 or 3 or something like that. I mean, look good.
I want to get back to Drew Allar. So much is expected of him in 2025. I've had the question asked of me if Drew Allar has to be the best quarterback in the country in order for Penn State to win the national championship next year. I'm not necessarily of that opinion, but I do believe that incremental progress is reasonable to expect from him. What did you see from the way he looked out there? You were already saying, yeah, he looks like an NFL quarterback, but what looks different from years past?
He looks comfortable. He doesn't look like he's trying to prove anything. I mean, even when I seen him just walking through, he just seemed like a little bit more comfortable. Like, this is my building. You know what I mean? I know exactly what I have to do. And like, maybe it's I evaluate a lot of young quarterbacks and you go around, you see quarterbacks throwing in practice. And then again, you take it for granted what the above the line or elite guys look like up close and personal. Like we just kind of nitpick the outcomes of games, or obviously you have to perform and do your different things, but like just from a talent evaluation standpoint, it's the ball comes out different. It looks different. Like it's different. That's all. And you know, Grunkemeyer looked good as well, the backup quarterback, tossing the ball around a little bit. But he looked comfortable. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the best way to put it.
On Grunkemeyer, in terms of years past, that backup quarterback, you know, a lot of confidence with Bo Perbula the last few seasons. He's since transferred to Mizzou, and there's been questions at that position going into this offseason. So from what you've seen from Grunkemeyer, what did you like about what you did see?
I mean, I like how the ball comes, like how it comes out of his hands. You know what I mean? It looks like they both make decisive reads. They get there, even when they're getting coached, they're like locked in. seem to be upbeat. Like, I mean, look, just body language as they're, I mean, it's day 2 of install, so they're going to have mistakes and things of that nature. It just seemed like they were rolling. And like, kudos to the quarterback coach, OB, and then you got our man Trace over there doing that as well. So they're getting coached up by guys that played the position. So it's not just all theoretical, you know, hey, do this, that, and the third. It's like, no, I understand the read says this, but when you see that going here, maybe. And so like having those in-depth conversations and doing things of that nature, then you have someone like a Cole Nicky that comes from like that kind of overseeing mastermind type standpoint. I think it's a great mixture in all different areas around the team.
All right. The wide receivers. Tell me something good, please. What did you see?
They look like they're looking like they're in the right path, right? I think Hagen's it's in his 3rd year, and you got the kid coming in from USC. He's bigger than I thought he was. I don't know why. Kyron Hudson. Yeah, I thought he was more of a small, shifty type of guy, but no, he's a big, strong. I'm not going to say possession receiver, but he looked good. He looked good just as a veteran receiver moving around out there. Tyser Denmark, you know, he looked like, you know, he got the quick cat that can kind of progress into something. B. Gonzalez was working his way back. You know, I mean, those guys, they look like they're on the up. I mean, moving on the right direction. We'll see what happens with these younger freshmen that come in. But again, from even that standpoint, it was an all-around good practice. I don't have anything negative to say about the receivers, but you know, it was a smooth practice.
Kyron Hudson, the other player wearing number 11 on Penn State this upcoming season. So he's right next to LaVar Arrington II in terms of the depth chart. So it's actually incredible. LaVar is listed as 6'3", 212. Kyron is listed at 6'1", 212.
That's what I said. Yeah.
So like if you saw the picture of Abdul, it's not going to be exactly the same makeup or anything like that, but goodness.
That's what I said. He's bigger than I thought he was.
At wide receiver, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about another transfer, Devontae Ross from Troy, and not a transfer, but Caden Saunders, who's been with the program for a little while now. See anything out of them?
Yeah, the kid from Troy. He flashed a couple times when I looked up. I was like, who's that? And you know, I mean, a new body in the space. The kid from Mater Dei looked pretty good too. He made a couple plays. The corner,
Darius Dixon, the defensive back.
Yeah, he looked good. Anytime that I put my casual eye on, so I'm just not like meaning it. I'm just trying to see like who catches me, and I was like, so that's what I'm trying to reference. The casual captures that I had, and he had a couple for me yesterday.
When you're watching everybody, you're like, okay, it's quarterbacks, running backs, offensive line, and then the defensive backs, and you're like, all right, now I'm really paying attention. Like it's locked down you. It's like, hey,
I actually paid less attention to the defensive
really
backs.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like if you can't see the whole situation when you're kind of like locked in into this, that, and the third.
Very holistic of you. That's good.
I mean, you have to be holistic. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? But when you understand like what you're looking for, that's why I say put my casual eye on. So once I have my casual eye and I can kind of say like, all right, what's that? And I can work my way back. It's like, okay, here we go.
In terms of the defensive backs, who did you see that stuck out to you? You just mentioned Darius Dixon, who's an incoming freshman, so that's encouraging, but who stuck out in your mind?
I mean, just from the initial day, I mean, Elliott Washington. I mean, I think Elliott, there was just like a one-on-one pair somewhere after the 6, competitor of the day type things. And I think just in one of the first competitive periods, it's like a pick. And I was like, oh, like it was just like, okay, here we go. He looks great. He's a freaky athlete. You know what I mean? Like, so see what happens there. He's one that probably stuck out at first, but everybody that I'm naming, again, had those casual bursts where I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
This is a big year as well for Zion Tracy and AJ Harris, former transfer from Georgia. Anything out of those two?
AJ Harris looked great too. I mean, those guys, they look like good ball players. I'm looking for the elevation. I think AJ played great football last year, so he looked, not to say the same, but we expect he's the number 1 corner for a reason. You know what I mean? So not the nitpick. So he looked good, obviously, but I was looking for the newcomer. So I guess from that standpoint, yeah, he looked good though. I mean, again,
There's a story out there, and there's been a lot of conversation about spring practices, of course, in the greater world of college football. A lot of teams are just outright canceling them. Penn State is not canceling the blue-white game, but is electing to do it differently and not televise it on April 26th. So some of this is strategic, but there's also been conversations out there, for instance, Deion Sanders at Colorado, Fran Brown at Syracuse, potentially trying to work out an intra-squad spring practice arrangement of some kind. And there's a story out there that Penn State has potentially explored the possibility of joint practices with Temple. Don't know if there's any more traction on that at the time of us recording this, if it's real, if it's BS, who knows? But what'd you feel about that when you saw that?
I think any type of anytime you get the practice against another team is great. I mean, I think I used to love joint practices in the NFL. I mean, you get away from your own habits, and then the actual reps matter. And especially now in the transfer portal, this is a great opportunity for the guys that aren't necessarily on the roster to be seen by another team versus their reserves, like up close and personal. So I think it's a great opportunity all around to get great work, to get guys seen by other people, and build those calluses up for the season.
And we do have to give some love here on State of State within the Smith family. Congratulations to your cousin, Tank Smith, who has taken on an assistant running backs coach position with Robert Morris. Tank Smith, a former Penn State running back, and we wish him all the best. That's a very cool opportunity for Tank.
Oh, beautiful. Yep. Coming from Westminster, he was coaching up there, and it's a great opportunity for him and a great example of using sports as a catalyst to career you can bank on. Go to Penn State. We went to St. Francis first, and then transferred to Penn State as a walk-on, played his time there, and then transitioned into a student coach, got an opportunity to go to the next spot, and really, had the humility to make his way in the coaching. And another guy that I saw, like when Trace got his job, I saw Tank down at the convention doing his due diligence as an upcoming coach, making relationships and doing what he needed to do. And then, things happen, and then you make that transition, and then you start beating on that next mountain up into that coaching career. So congratulations, Tank, because that is not an easy feat or an easy transition. And when guys do it, I mean, this part of the business is built for them when they take the humility or the steps of humility to kind of learn the technicals of the coaching business, and they can excel. And him and Trace McSorley are great examples of that from past players. And, Billy Fessler, these are all guys that were players that are now all coaches. So I love it.
A lot of depth on this staff, top to bottom. It's really impressive what James Franklin has put together in that respect. Before we get out of here, I forgot to ask you about, outside of LaVar Arrington II, but there is that question from a lot of fans, the depth at linebacker, and that, okay, we have a pretty good feel about Tony Rojas and Dom DeLuca as your 1 and 2 in a 4-2-5 defense. James Franklin spoke about that earlier on this week. He said, yeah, our base is going to stay a 4-2-5. You could see some sub packages where it's a 4-3. Who that third guy is certainly a question on the minds of Penn State fans. So anything you saw from the linebackers, or was it about what you expected?
It's hard with linebackers where they're not popping pads, right? Like they were just in shell. So, until we start cracking heads, I'm not going to say too much about linebackers.
How are you feeling about the revision to the spring practice schedule and the change with the blue-white game, not televising it, all that sort of stuff?
You got to be adaptable to survive. So I think it's a smart move to still have different things going on. But yeah, I don't think you need to televise it. But, get that, exposure that you need, or development from if they have an inter-squad practice with another team. But yeah, I think it's hard to show everybody what you got going on, in this day and age when we don't know exactly what the new rules are going to look like, and teams still just outspend and poach players and things of that nature. So until there's some real guardrails, I think everybody has to be somewhat conservative of how they roll out their spring games.
That, and considering how long the season ran for these kids, like,
sure, that too. That's a very true point. That's a very good point.
Like the veterans at this point in the season is like, hey, you don't need to be doing anything crazy. You played into freaking January, so we can take our time with that, and it gives more opportunities, to the points you were saying, to the young guys to get themselves in there and get themselves ready for this upcoming season. Final question, just in terms of, you talked about, you saw the depth and the maturation from 2017 to now, but from last year this time to this year this time, you and I think the entire world are very, very well aware of what the expectation or hope is for 2025. What was your general feel from things in terms of comparing it maybe to this time last year to now?
I thought last year was a potential championship winning team, and I'm saying this year they look good too. So, I mean, take it how you feel, but I mean, they look good. It looks like a returning top 5 football team. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, now it's just a matter of going out and winning games.
Time will tell. Get at us in the comment section. Hit us up on social media. Tell us what other positions you want to hear about as spring practices continue and we get closer and closer to the blue-white game on April 26th. See what we can glean from that. But right now, a very busy week for Penn State football, and all things seem to be progressing very nicely.
Thank you all so much for joining us. This episode and our entire library of shows is available now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Please like, comment, subscribe, rate us, and turn on notifications. Follow us on social media at State of State Pod. Comment on our YouTube channel. And if you haven't done so already, you can become a member of our YouTube channel. For just 99 cents a month, you can get all upcoming episodes of State of State, plus our entire members-only playlist, ad-free, commercial-free. Hit the join button on our homepage or follow the link in the description of this podcast. State of State is presented by Bet Online and by Blue White Outfitters.